Okay. Okay. So, God willing, we start with the halacha that after we're holding a lunch, right? Shabbos lunch, that after Shabbos lunch, if a person have the custom for have a shluf, he should go and shluf. But he should not say, I'm going to shluf because, let's say, I have to do a night shift on, let's say, Shabbos. So I need to rest before my night shift. That wouldn't work because we should not prepare anything from Shabbos to the weekdays. Therefore, if I shluf, even I have a night shift on Motzei Shabbat, but I shluf, I rest because of Shabbos. The rest of it is an outcoming of it, which is okay. And so, later on, when we wake up from the Shabbos pleasurable sleep, we go and have a shiur, a learning session at the house with the family members, or alone with Hashem and His beautiful Torah, or at shul with chaverim, with the rabbi. But that's like a portion that we have to insert into that window of Shabbos lunch, have a shluf, have a learning session, and only then continue the rest of the things we want to do during the day. So that's beautiful for now. We have another halacha coming up, so I'm shortening this part of halacha from the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. God willing, we going to learn again about how is it important to be joyful over Shabbos. So it's considered, mitzvahs are divided into biblical mitzvahs, which are specifically written in the Torah, and rabbinical mitzvahs, which the Chachamim, the sages, have thought, prepared for us to do. We consider them as important as biblical mitzvahs, like it was written in the Torah. But obviously, a biblical mitzvah has more of a higher standard, at least in the status of it. Even though, as I said, we take seriously rabbinical and biblical the same level, we do it without questioning. But the biblical is like kind of a higher status of it. And many of the Rishonim, of our sages who lived, let's say it's about 1,000 years ago, there was Rishonim were like angels. They were so smart, so beautiful. The Rashi was there, the Rosh was there, the Rif was there, the Rambam, all these great, huge sages of our nation. And majority of the Rishonim are considered, there's a biblical mitzvah to be joyful and to be pleasurable and to enjoy during Shabbos. Even though, and they quote a pasuk. There's a pasuk in the Torah that says, "The karata la Shabbat oneg." You have to recite pleasure during Shabbos. This is no joke. It's like, a biblical mitzvah is like one of the 10 commandments. Is a biblical mitzvah. And here, having joy, having pleasure, having oneg over Shabbos, this is considered to be a biblical mitzvah. So we should be very careful to fulfill this biblical mitzvah, right? What could go wrong? It's an amazing thing. So I'm going to read from a book. This is a beautiful, beautiful book written by a friend of mine here in Tzfat, Rabbi Shlomo, and he's a young scholar, but phenomenal learner. His father was a tzaddik, and he continues to spread the light of Torah. This called Yismechu B'Malchuscha. You should be rejoicing in your kingdom, of the kingdom of Hashem over Shabbos. So it says over here that it's a mitzvah. The way to conduct this pleasure over Shabbos is that person should not worry whatsoever with any physical parnasa, nachat, any issue, any matter that bothers him the weekdays, he should suppress it, push it away, dip it in the ground, step on it, just blow it through the window, any way you'd like to, just push it away. Just reject the negative, the bothers, the problems, the issues, the finance, the debts, the whatever it is. So one should think, and this is also the Rishonim, also the Midrash brings that a person should think over Shabbos like all his action, all his deeds, all his like activity, all his mundane activity is complete and fulfilled and perfect. And this is the greater honor, the greater pleasure that one can have. There's no greater pleasure than this, says the Tur. The Tur is one of the greatest sages that ever existed in the Jewish history. He wrote this beautiful Arba Turim of the Halacha book, Halacha covering all parts of Halacha. And he says only by that, by pushing away the worries that of the weekdays, that's the way we can get on it. And we learn that from the pasuk, 6 days you should work, and you're going to do all your activity. And Shabbos day is given to Hashem, your God. You should not do any activity on Shabbos. So the question is asked, how can a person ever accomplish within 6 days of the week all his features, all his like business matters? It takes lifetime to start a business, to push it, to promote it, to hire, to fire, a lot of things. 6 days is enough. So from here we learn that the Torah commanded the person that during Shabbat, after 6 days of weekdays, you have to think like he's done, he completed everything completely. Everything is complete, and in order for the person to rejoice and happy over Shabbos without no worries and sorrow from anything in the world that possibly can come onto his mind. This is a very great reward that a person is getting in the account as a result of that action to push away all the worries. Hashem will fulfill all his requests for the good in all matters, because just like that person pushed away all the bothering issues that he had during Shabbos, and he's not worried about them at all, so Hashem will do the same thing for him, that Hashem will fulfill everything he's lacking. And he will have, he's assured, he's going to have a Yeshua in every given field of his life that he is needed in the great schus of Shabbos the Queen. Can you imagine Shabbos, just a week, another day of the week, but such a holy, lofty, unbelievable day that we are worthy to have, to enjoy, to rejoice, to cook, to eat, to dress well, to be happy, to dance. Okay, beautiful. What happens if you go to that hotel that provide only those electronic cards that you have to open your door with that key? It's an electronic key. You can never use this electronic key on Shabbat. So I just saw an answer, like a trick you can do. You can actually tie like a little string from within. You tie that little string to the handle from the inside of the door, and you put that little string all the way down from the inner handle of the door, all the way down through the bottom of the door and through underneath the door itself, so that the end of the string of this string you can see, and if you pull it, that string underneath the door, you're actually pulling the handle from inside down, the door can be opened. So that's a nice trick I heard. You can do that. Or you can do, if it is not possible to do that, you should notify the reception downstairs that whenever you come in and the goy, the Gentile who works there, see you, He will escort you to the door and open the door for you. You should just hint him. You shouldn't say to him, please open my door, because you're not supposed to tell a goy, a Gentile, to do your Shabbos work. If talking to a Gentile, to ask him to do for me all my activities on Shabbos, then what kind of a Shabbos I'm going to have? I'm going to ask Joe Smith, please call my broker and ask him to sell my shares, or you just call him up. You call, hey, Joe, call my broker and tell him to sell the shares I'm having. Or, hey, Sasha, or whatever, go ahead and water my field, because I feel that I didn't water my field enough. The plants are still thirsty. You're not doing any activity, but still, where is your Shabbos gone? Flew through the window. So we should not tell the Gentiles to do the work for us. What we can do is to hint them, to let them understand that this is the what we need. We need from them to do something for us. So, and what happens if there's a sensor in the corridor of that hotel? There's a sensor, electronic sensor, that senses you as you walk through the path of the corridor and put on the light automatically. That happens everywhere. So it's better to again hint a non-Jew to go ahead of you, so he would light the sensor, and the sensor will spread light, but not because of you, just because of him. If there's nobody there, you can send a little child, age 2 or 3, no more, because at that age, kids don't have any understanding of what they're doing. So just Tati, send him over. Tzadik, just run through the corridor. He's 2 or 3 years old, no more. And then he runs to the corridor, and the sensor lights up the light, and you can go through. It's more of a less of a problem if it's in the daytime, because daytime you don't need the light. So if the light goes on and you're walking in the corridor, you're actually not using the light of the lamp. You're using the light of the day, of the sun. And since you don't need that lamp, that bulb to go on, then it's considerably more easier than just doing it at nighttime. There's a concept that when you do something which causes another result, that's called psikresha. It's like you're doing one thing and something else is happening, and if you're not comfortable with that reaction, with that final result of what you do, and you don't have any intention for that, it's completely, some poskim are allowing it. And
Rabbi Carmi, may I ask a question just related to this?
Maybe we can wait for the end.
Okay. So
we'll let everybody go, and then you can ask them, because I'm not sure. The time is very short, and I don't want to limit those 18 minutes to go through this 18 minutes.
Okay.
One very interesting thing, because the Pirkei Avos, right? Pirkei Avos on chapter number 5, on Mishnah number 9, brings down that a few things were created just before sunset of Friday, when in Gan Eden, when Adam and Chava were in Gan Eden, Hashem created the whole world. The first day, the lights, the animals, the heaven, the earth, the fields, the plants, the stars. He created man on the 6th day of creation, and then Shabbat v'inafash. We say that Hashem has stopped from all his activity, and Shabbos came in. Now we gotta listen. We gotta understand, what even Hashem stopped from his activity? Does Hashem has activities that he does? Does he grind wheat? Does he plow? Does he chas v'shalom do anything? It's not a question of doing, it's creating. So the question is asked, what is this thing that Hashem stopped kind of working over Shabbos? Because Hashem obviously doesn't work. So the answer is that he ceased from creating. Hashem Hashem has this thing that He creates. Hashem creating every day, every single breath, every single minute is being created. God creates the world, keep it going. And when Hashem stopped from creating, means that He ceased, that He had Shabbos, He stopped from working. So I want to read to you over here the chapter number 5. That's something very interesting, and we're going to conclude here because I think we're soon going to shoot the ending. What Hashem created 10 things during the Ben Hashmash, the twilight zone, the twilight of Friday, between Friday and Shabbos of the creation. So here, I'm going to read it to you in English. 10 things were created on Shabbos Eve at twilight. They are the mouth of the earth that Korach was swallowed into, the mouth of the well. Miriam's well was created already before Shabbos, before the first Shabbos ever existed. The mouth of the donkey for Bilam, when he spoke to his donkey, also was created. You have to understand exactly what it is. The rainbow, which was Noah's sight, yes, for not to have any more floods, was also created in the twilight of before Shabbos, in the 6 days of creation. The manna, the man which we ate in the desert, also was created then. The staff means like the pole, the stick that Moshe Rabbeinu had and did all the miracles. With the ocean, they spread he opened the sea, the Red Sea, and the lyces, the water hit the river with that. The shamir worm, it's a special worm that was created then and it has a special feature. That worm, if that worm walks on a rock, the rock is split into half. And because in the times of the temple, when Shlomo HaMelech built the temple, we were not supposed to cut the stones with metal. So Shlomo HaMelech used those worms to cut through the huge bricks, huge stones that we see in the Kotel in the Western Wall. So the worm would walk on that stone and break it to half. That was created Friday in the twilight. The script, the inscription, which something has to do with certain writings, I'm not sure what it is, and the tablets, the 2 tablets that we received on Mount Sinai, and some say that also the destructive spirits, the demons. Just a very small hint, what it is. What are these? Rambam says that today they have no existence. Some say they do have existence. For sure in Israel and Israel there are no existence. But the thing, how did that happen? Hashem was creating their kind of souls, and so to speak, did not have enough time, so to speak, when Shabbos came in, and he was just about to create bodies to those spiritual beings, and Shabbos came along, and bodies were not created for those creatures. So they were left spiritual, without bodies. And until today, the circumstances are whatever they are, but still, something interesting about those 10 things that Hashem created Friday in the twilight. Some others say that the grave of Moshe Rabbeinu was also created at that gap, that special time in creation, that Friday goes along and Shabbos comes in, of the first days of the first Shabbos in the world, and Abram, and also Moshe's grave, and the ram of our forefather Avram, the ram, the deer, the ram that was supposed to be, that was sacrificed on the altar instead of Yitzchak Avinu, and some say also the tongues. Okay, this is another step. We're not going to touch that. So Beautiful. So Shabbos, good Shabbos to everyone. And may I miss you already. And we're going to see you next week. And thank you everyone for joining. And Shabbos Kodesh. I wish you Shabbat Shalom to everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
A good Shabbos. A good Shabbos.
Yeah, good Shabbos.
Yes.
Yes.
Rabbi Carmi, I just wanted to ask one question. You were asking before, or you were saying before that you can't ask a non-Jew to do something that's work for you.
One second. I'm not sure I can. I mean, I'll listen to your question. I'll give you my best knowledge, but
That's fine.
To paskin, questions of halachic. But please, what's your question?
Okay, so I'm just wondering. So can you ask, can you talk with a non-Jew before Shabbat to say this is what the situation is? So I would need you to do X and Y for me on Shabbat. Is it permissible to do that kind of arrangement?
For sure, halachically, yes. I just saw that in that book.
Okay.
So when I talk on behalf of the book, I can say this is a strict halacha. You sure can, like you can prepare everything else before Shabbat and enjoy it, so you can let the reception know that you're coming, and you can also tell them to tell the next shift of the in the reception, they will recognize you to come in and.
Or would you have to tell them, okay, because if you're in a hotel, you might have to tell them what your room number is. Is that okay to do that?
Sure.
Like I'm in room such and such, and then they know, okay, I need to open your door for you. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Happy that I was able to answer your question.
Okay. Have a wonderful Shabbat. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Be well.
Bye.
Bye, Debbie. Shabbat Shalom.